Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hello. 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 Hi there. Hi there. So the title is "They Never Changed." I'm talking about a group of people worldwide, but specifically in the United States of America right now. This isn't. I don't intend for this live to be controversial, but it is what it is because I'm only saying it from observation. And with that, I'm talking about Caucasians, white people. They have not changed. What do I mean? A lot of brown people are very surprised to see the racism that's coming out. Like they are just stunned. Don't get me wrong, the level of racism that's coming out around this time, and this is 2025, okay? After a certain I don't even want to call a person's name, but a lot of stuff that's coming out. Today is September 17th, 2025, right? I'm gonna refrain from calling a certain person's name because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I've warned brown women against this before. I first made a video about a certain person, and I said brown women need to cool it. But I was only talking about celebrating somebody's death, not talking about things that you disagree with. But I was only talking about celebrating somebody's death. I said cool it. I was saying for brown women to cool it because nobody has your back. No, brown women don't even have each other's back. A brown woman will have a lot of brown women will have a non-brown person's back. And when I say non-brown, I mean non-black, non-so-called African American, not Latino. So a brown woman will have a non-brown woman's back before they have another brown woman's back. A lot of, okay, a lot of. And so this is why I say brown women just cool it, especially when it comes to that celebrating. Now, if you disagree on a lot of things that he had to say and you have a critique for what he had to say, that I can understand because he critiqued other people, so people have the right to critique him. At the same time, with brown women, it's not even about what you have a right to do. It's not even about your rights and what you have a right to speak on. Nobody has your back. See, the problem is nobody has your back. Yeah, you might have the right to speak on things, but nobody has your back. And we see a lot of white people get fired from their jobs. So just imagine what can happen. Well, we already saw what happened to brown women in the first 3 months of 2025. 350,000 lost their jobs. Why? And before I get to the topic, because I didn't forget the title of the video, of the live, we're going to find out what DEI really stands for. Because for the longest, I've been saying I'm tired of brown women being the face of everything that is like brown women. For some reason, became the face of DEI, and then you have some other brown people going along with it. And then you have some, what you call it, far right people talking about DEI and brown women. So I want to say this. When you talk about the far right, we've seen the far left. We're on another extreme right now. We're on another extreme. Now we are seeing the far right. We are seeing what the far right looks like, because we saw some of the far left on the last administration. We saw some of the far left. That's why a lot of people who were Democrat wanted Trump in, because the far left was just about unbearable. I don't know who was able to. The people who was able to bear it are the people who might have benefited and didn't care who else was suffering, because a lot of people was suffering. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What I noticed about the far left, from what I've observed, is that basically they're going to tear up the United States to the point where it's not even the United States. They're going to just completely tear it up. They're going to completely sell the United States over to something else. They're not going to care about United States citizens at all. Not to say that the far right is caring right now either. But what I'm saying is, what the far left is doing is they're allowing everybody from every other nation to come in and just pretty much walk all over United States Americans, and the United States citizens don't have a say so. That's what I saw with the far left. And I saw a lot of other stuff too. There was a lot of confusion when it came to gender. You had grown people in their 40s and 50s that could not tell the difference between a woman and a man because of the confusion and the stuff that we had to relearn, and it was required at our jobs. That's a lot of stuff that came with far left, and it was so bad that people were just wanting Trump to get in. But now we're seeing the far right. Now we are seeing the far right, and with the far right, we are seeing a lot of, I don't care, I'm just going to say the observation that a lot of people are seeing is a lot of white supremacy, a lot of racism, that's a lot of unhinged racism. This is what some people are experiencing. A lot of unhinged racism, unchecked racism, okay? But what I want to talk about is the DEI, because now I'm going to talk about how far the far right goes. See, the far right gets into the part of Christianity where women are no longer respected. See, I've been talking about the Old Testament, how it looked like women were hated. Now, I've always said the word is a living word. Now, I talk about that from experience, what I experience internally, metaphysically, when I listen to the word, the things I see things moving out the way. I see obstacles moving out the way when I play the audio. I see things moving out the way when I have my eyes closed. So, as like I said, this is really a living word, yes. But it's something about the way that women were treated in that Old Testament. And I'm going to tell you right now, this far right is about to take it there. This far right is about to take it there. And a lot of Christian women who don't know anything that I'm saying, women didn't get mistreated. Okay, well, you about the FAFO. You about the FAFO. If you don't know what FAFO means, that's F around and find out. A lot of Christian women that feel like the Old Testament was not abusive, there's a lot of stuff, it was no abuse to women. And for some reason, it kind of seemed like that guy might have been okay with it. A lot of Christians who might not have felt like women were abused, I think they're going to FAFO. They're going to FAFO because this extreme right wing right here, they're going to take a lot of rights away from women. And I want to get to this DEI. Brown women have been the face of DEI for so long. Brown women have been accused of getting jobs that they didn't deserve because they were brown skinned. Brown women have just been picked on. I mean, brown people in general, but they really picking on brown women. Okay? They're really picking on brown women. And while I'm not about to be too upset with what's coming, is because now we're going to see who really benefited the most. We're about to see who really benefited the most from DEI. We're going to see that white women benefited the most from DEI. We're about to see that. And the reason why, because this far right has no respect for women. Has no respect for women. They're going to grape their women, and they're not going to allow their women they're not going to listen to their women. It's going to be like the Old Testament. When women got raped in the Old Testament, their rapists had to marry them. Can you imagine somebody raping you, and the only thing is, okay, well, now he has to marry you because he needs to make you an honest woman? No other penalty besides now he has to marry you. Now, so that I want to say. So I'm not going to be too upset with what's coming, because it's time to see who's been the face, who really benefited the most. Because a lot of people benefited from DEI, but now we're going to see who benefited the most from DEI, and we're going to see it was white women. Because I'm tired of brown women always being the face for everything. We're going to see that it was white women. Because of the suppression, they were suppressed by their own group of men. And we're probably going to see the biggest gender war ever. Okay? I don't like both sides either. I'm neither one or the other. I'm neither Democrat or Republican. They're both far. You have the far left that just wants to destroy the United States of America. I don't understand what's saying. See, what I'm hearing now is some Democrats online, like some women, like brown women or other people, that's making sense. Because, yeah, the far right is like they lost their mind. But the thing is, now they're making sense. But why weren't you making sense when the far left was in here destroying the United States? Why didn't you make sense then? See, now they're making sense. They have good talking points. A lot of people on the Democratic side, they have a lot of good talking points. Yeah, you're making sense, because, yeah, this is some crazy stuff. We're in some crazy times. And so a lot of things that I hear Democrats saying are making sense. But when the far left was in here last administration, they had nothing to say. I mean, the far left was tearing up United States of America. It was awful. People were confused about their gender. Okay, people were like scared. They had doggone scrambled brains. It was a huge spirit of confusion. That's what the far left was bringing. Okay, so and then now around that time, well, you had the Republicans that made sense. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm neither Democrat or Republican, because the far left just wants to destroy everything. And I'm going to tell you, the far left will go as far as lawlessness. The far left is going to defund the police, and the far left is going to go as far as just going to be complete lawlessness with the far left. And with the far right, we're seeing patriarchy, how it began. We're seeing women that are not going to have any rights, and they're going to be extremely oppressed. That's what we're going to see with women with the far right. I don't know if I'm going to be too upset, because now we get to see who are the most recipients of DEI. We get to see it, because I'm tired of brown women always taking the doggone heat for everything. Okay? Yeah. And so, yeah. So, yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna get to the topic. They've always been like this. I said they never changed. That's the title of the live. They never changed. I'm talking about majority of the white people. I'm not talking about all, right? You always gonna have some good people. You're always gonna have some decent people, right? But I'm talking about majority of the white people. Brown people are going to find out that a lot of white people never liked them, and a lot of white people have been wearing a mask and never really liked brown people like that. And it's not because brown people did anything to them, unless somebody like hurt somebody in their family, and you have a reason not to like a particular person. But other than that, it's not necessarily because you did anything to them. It's because of the way they grew up. And around this time, there's a lot of white people that has been on TikTok and YouTube and talk about how racist things are. Like, they don't say anything, But in their household and in their neighborhoods, it's a whole lot of racism. They just keep it to themselves, and nobody really knows about it. Now it's starting to come out with the far right. Now you're starting to see it, and a lot of brown people are so shocked. Some brown people are so shocked at some of the things they hear the vice president say and other right wingers say. They are so like, what? And I'm thinking to myself, well, heck, this is how our parents grew up. This is how our parents grew up. They wouldn't be surprised if I was to like have like, well, my grandparents aren't alive anymore, but if they were alive and they heard these words, it's like, well, yeah, that ain't nothing new, right? They never changed. People thought that they changed because there were laws that did not allow them. There were laws in place that did not allow them to openly practice their racism. So because there were laws in place that did not allow them to openly practice their racism, some brown people were under the impression that everything's changed, that they've changed. They're not the same people. They're not like their ancestors. You listen, here's my thing. As long as a certain type of teaching is being passed down generation to generation to generation, you are like your ancestors. Now, I would have to say a lot of brown people are no longer like their ancestors. They're no longer like their ancestors. You know, but because I'm seeing a group of brown people that's unrecognizable. But some of the white people we see now are the same ones from the 1940s, 1930s, 1920s. It's the same heart, it's the same mentality, because that mentality has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Okay? And now we're seeing it. All right? But anyway, it almost feels like there was an actual sacrifice, like somebody was sacrificed last week in order to push an agenda. This looked like somebody might have been sacrificed last week, meaning like today is September the 17th. This week is the week of September 14th, like Sunday, I believe was it September 14th? That was Sunday? Okay. The week before that, somebody was murdered. How he was murdered, it's not really clear, because a lot of people are not believing anything anymore as far as, what they're being told. Okay? Nobody's believing it. So it's really to be shown what really happened. But it's almost feeling like there might have been a sacrifice that took place to change things and to take things into a different direction. There had to be something major that happened. Next year, around May 2026, there's going to be something else major that happens. That's going to blow everything out the water. Okay. So anyway, that's all I want to talk about is that, they never change, and brown people are surprised because they never see this level of racism in their lifetime. They have not seen this level of racism, right? Some of them have. Some of them have. So a lot of brown people haven't. As much as they want to sit around and talk about it all the time, and that's what I didn't really care about the Democrats, is they kept talking about white supremacy as if it was something they experienced, as if they were around the time of Martin Luther King Jr.'s era, or the era before that. They talk about it as if they're actually experiencing it the way the ancestors did, and they have it. But they constantly, and that's what was getting annoying to me. But now they are like shocked. They are shocked at some of the things they are hearing. They are about to experience what our grandparents went through. They're about to experience it. Now you're about to see what it's really like. Okay? Um, yeah, yeah, I believe that this was a sacrifice. Now, whether how that person died, like I say, is up in the air. It's a lot of people are unsure, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to say anything else. But when that person, when that person actually was unalived, and how that person was unalived, a lot of folks are unsure. A lot of people are unsure. Okay, but it feels like with the way the direction that the right wing are taking things, that the way that they are taking things, it almost feels like this was a sacrifice to take things in this direction. Okay. But anyway, with that being said, I will talk later. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will see you later. Talk to you later.